the joy that we all want on a regular basis, it's a consciousness that we have to learn how to tap into better. It's not a destination that we chase and have to repeat time and time again.
When we set up joy as an external arrival point in our life, it can set us up for anxiety and almost desperation, because we make statements like, I'll be happier when, or I'll relax when, or I'll be more joyful or more at peace when. And so we're pushing our joy and happiness out into a probability in the future. And then we have to meet that future with all speed, because our joy is riding on it.
And we have to do it over and over and over again.
Because once you arrive at that destination, automatically our sights are trained to looking at destinations that we don't look down at the arrival point very long, where's the next arrival point? And so we end up chasing around in our life for these scraps, these little pieces of fulfillment, little pieces of joy. And
as though we're on some kind of treasure hunt, right? Where joy is in the box. And we don't get our next hit of joy until we figure out what's the goal, and then how do we get there? And then once we navigate all the things we had to to get there, we get to open the box, and then we get our hit of joy. And how long does that really last before it goes away? Because all emotions come in waves. They don't last forever. And then we're on the next hunt for more joy.
Treasure hunts are fun. I love treasure hunts. But what's inside that box is so important. If what's in that box is your joy, there's a lot riding on that. And so you have to go on that treasure hunt. Your freedom goes out the window because there's so much riding on the advent of getting that treasure. And I think that's why people set themselves up for winning the lottery or some other really superlative goal. And
when I get married,
that
when
will
I
be
have
the
children.
condition. That will be the condition that they go, then and only then, on that one pinnacle event, will my happiness arrive. It's so pressure inducing, and some people end up getting depressed because they've set their goal of joy way too high and way too far out in the future. And thinking of it, joy is almost like oxygen. If there's a bottle of oxygen in that treasure chest and there's no other oxygen, of course you're going all your energy into finding that treasure. Don't put too much in that treasure chest. Joy now, finding a way to acknowledge that there is joy today, that there is things about your life that you can acknowledge, like joy is present here too, because joy is a consciousness. For you to say, yeah, it's actually not as bad. It's actually okay. My life is working out in some ways. To acknowledge there's joy here. And what that does is it takes less pressure off finding the treasure chest, so that joy is here, and then go on a treasure hunt.
It's joy along the way, and you are expanding your joy. You are finding different aspects of that joy, because joy also isn't just joy, I've arrived, and joy is joy, it's all the same. It's not. In the realm or in the consciousness of joy, it's like a rainbow or myriad of colors and shades, and we get to experience it in different ways and different facets. Let life be set up that we want to experience joy in as many different ways and shapes and sizes and experiences as we can, versus
just that one point.
I just have to find it.
It's got to be, and it's got to be this one thing. And joy is only going to be found in this one location, in this one event.
Right, a very narrow focus on joy has to come in this slice. And we make it really hard then to find it, versus the more we open up, then the more room and opportunities there are for joy. When we adopt the idea that joy is a consciousness, we can find and see joy much more easily and readily in everyday things, because it is literally all around us. For me, a leaf, something that nature does so effortlessly over and over and over again, for me, it brings me joy.
When you can connect with joy here in all its little forms, you are training your mind to look for joy, because you're saying the joy that's here today is important because I'm making it so. I'm making it important to seek and find joy in all the 1,000 little pockets of my day. And therefore, your nervous system will be trained to look for joy today and joy the next day. Because if there's not joy today, you're not getting joy down the road. Joy is not an arrival point. It's a consciousness that you connect to. So connect to it today.
And what people are often calling joy, I'll have joy when, isn't actually really what joy is. It's I'll have a bit of excitement, an adrenaline rush, a thrill, but it's not the joy that we seek.
It will actually be a relief from pain. It's not joy. It's that finally I can take a break from the stress. And we use the same word, oh, I'm happy, but it actually isn't happy. That's not joy. That's just the antithesis of the stress.
Something that you can do is pay attention to how many times you smile today. Pay attention to how many times even just a little smirk comes across your face or a feeling of lightness. And pay attention to how often maybe it doesn't come as well. But when you start paying attention to how many times there's even just a little increase in happiness and joy, whether it's a really cute, funny dog you saw walking in front of you, or a baby, or a couple in love, or anything, even a really good meal, a good pastry, a TV show that made you smile.
I think that's
Start
important.
registering. It's like, bits of joy. It's everywhere.
And I think why that's an important message is because we want to say that those aren't important things. It's just a warm cup of coffee. It's just a cute dog. And we predetermine none of those matter and those aren't important. And so we're looking for joy with a capital J, all in neon lights, and it's got to be a massive load of joy. But big events like that aren't what make a joyful life. It's joy now, and then joy now, and then joy now. So we have to look for these small things, because if it's like building a brick wall, we're looking for a brick. And that one little piece of brick is a little piece of joy. And with that training of thought, you're going to build a wall and then eventually a castle of joy, because you're saying these small things, I'm going to build upon them to at the end, I look back and going, my God, there was a lot of joy that I experienced yesterday.
And I love that analogy of sort of building up the castle with these joy moments, because in fact, we have to train our nervous system and our brain to be oriented this way. Our nervous system is oriented to keep us alive and to search out stress, and so it wants to survive. So it is oriented to see what could be a threat, what could take it down. And our society by large gets our attention by giving us headlines and email subject lines that grab our attention. So they're usually quite fear-based. So we're actually being more conditioned to see fear and what we don't like and respond to that. And that sort of fills up our consciousness. We need to do the work. If we want joy, then we need to take joy and its responsibility back into our own being, our own creative control, and recognize that we have to train our nervous system to see joy. It's no different than if I say, hey, look for red baby carriages. All of a sudden, you'll start seeing them, not because we magically populated the world with red baby carriages, because you have trained and told your nervous system to look for and be on the lookout.
This is now important.
This is now important, so
where
now
you
see it.
might have tuned out before. Now you're like, now this is on my radar.
Right, because there's so much information. We can't tune into everything. So we tell ourselves and our nervous system what to look for. So tell your nervous system to look for joy and watch what happens. It's a really great experiment.
That's so true. Of all the things that you can look at the news and having the radio, you can listen to all the crap that's happening in the world. If you're looking for it, you're going to find it. And typically if it bleeds, it leads in headlines.
It hasn't changed.
You don't have to adopt your nervous system to a sick society. You can say, aside from all that, yes, there's stuff going on, but I'm going to choose to make finding joyful moments now important in my life. And when you train that, your nervous system will attune to finding those things. And because you're saying, these are important to me. I want this joyful experience. I don't want to put my attention on these fearful events.
So we'd love to know what brings you joy. You can leave them in the comments below.
And you can check us out at jeffandellen.com.